Hi, welcome to the 7th part of my 10-part tutorial series Learn C++ in 2 hours. This video is a continuation of object-oriented concepts. This time I will cover inheritance. Inheritance has been used in reusing the existing code rather than reinventing the wheel. If two entities share some common features, then the inheritance relationship is possible between them. For example, circle and cylinder have some common attributes in the context of surface area. A cylinder with no height is a circle. So, if I want to create a class for circle, I would need its position, x and y, that is its origin, and the radius. Moreover, I need area method to determine its surface area. Now since cylinder 2 have all these common attributes, so we can inherit them rather than recreate it. But I need an additional attribute, height. It's better to hide the inherited attributes and only show the height attribute. This relationship is called is-a relationship, where the parent class is called the base class and the child class is called the derived class. But note that the area of a circle and cylinder are very different. So I want to inherit the attributes only, but not the area method. Remember that inheritance retrieves entire members. Luckily, we have one way to stop inheriting unwanted members by using the overriding technique. In overriding, you provide the same method name in the derived class to hide the base class method. Let's do this example in C++. First, to have the circle class, we can have class circle, then the radius and the area. So the area of a circle is pi, that is 3.14, times radius square. Pi and square can also be written using a mathematical library, for which we have to use math.h. And to get a pi value, we need a small trick, that is pi equals 2 times I cos 0. So now let me replace 3.14 with pi, and square of radius can be written with power function, radius square. Next we write the cylinder class that inherits from circle, so we use public circle. This is the way to establish a relationship between the derived class, which is cylinder, and the base class, that is circle. Now we do not need to rewrite these members, but only write an additional member, that is height. But note that in inheritance, derived class retrieves all the base class members. So here we are getting this area method as well, which is not correct for cylinder, so we must override it. So this is the only way to replace the unwanted members. So this is an overriding technique, and here the area should be 2 times pi times radius times height. Let's now verify the code. So I can create a circle object, let's say circle C, and C dot radius is equal to 1. And to have a cylinder object, I can have a pointer instead of an object. So let's say CL is a pointer that points to a new object of cylinder. And the height should be cylinder pointer dot. Unfortunately, dot operator does not work for the pointer, so we have to replace it with the arrow operator. Height, let's say, is 2.0, and let's say the radius is 0.5. Now we can print the area of these shapes, area of a circle, C dot area, and area of the cylinder is cylinder pointer and arrow operator. Now let's compile and run. So as expected, this is the result. Area of a circle is a pi, and the area of the cylinder is 2 times pi. Now let me tell you an alternative way of initializing these properties using a special method that is called constructor. Constructor is simply a method with the same name as the class name, but without any data types. So it's very easy to identify a constructor. You just have to look at the method name that should be same as the class name, plus without any data type. Here we want to initialize the radius, and to do that we must have a parameter float radius. But now there is a conflict between the property radius and the local variable. Both have the same name. And to resolve this conflict, we have to use a special name resolution operator, that is a this pointer. So this pointer is a special pointer that refers to the current object. And to retrieve its method, we must use arrow operators. So now the property radius is equal to the local variable. Similarly, we have to make a constructor for the cylinder. And to do that, I need the name of this class, which is cylinder, and parenthesis. But note that this time I have two properties to initialize. So I need two parameters, float radius and float height. But since radius originally belongs to the circle and now it is being initialized within the constructor, so we can call the base class constructor using colon and the constructor, which is circle. And that has only one parameter, which is radius. So before the cylinder object is created, it will call this constructor cylinder, and before going inside the code, it will call circles constructor. Now the radius is being initialized within the circle constructor, so we only need to initialize height. So again we can use this pointer, height is equal to the local variable height. Now let's see how we can do the initialization using the constructors. Now instead of initializing it separately, we can initialize it using the constructor. So here we need a parenthesis with one parameter. So now the value of the radius is 1. Similarly, we can do with the cylinder. Now the cylinder has a constructor that requires two parameters. First one is radius. So our radius is 0.5. So we write 0.5 and the height is 2.0. Now we can get rid of this code. And here the code looks much cleaner. Now let's verify it. Works fine. And here you go. The circle's area is pi and cylinder's area is 2 times pi. Another good and safe programming practice is not to allow anyone to access the data members directly. But here, these data members are public. That means anyone can access it and change it. So to avoid that, we can change the specifier from public to something else. So here I want radius to be accessible only inside cylinder. And to do that, I can provide a special specifier which is called protected. So with protected specifier, only the current class and the derived class can access the member. So radius is accessible within the class and inside cylinder, but it will not be accessible from the main. If we try to access it, we will get a compile error. We can try it out, c dot. Now the radius is missing. If we try to forcibly access it, we should get compile error. And here the error message says radius is protected, which was expected. So let me remove this. Now to hide this height, we can make it a private member. So I can simply write private and height. So in this case, height is only accessible within the class and nowhere else. So let me verify the code. All good. All looks good. So this is a standard way of writing program using inheritance. To hide and protect the members, we can use private. If you want data member to be accessible only within the class or in the derived class, we can make it protected. And you have also learned a special way of initializing the members using the constructor. And to identify a constructor, it is very easy. It should have the same name as the class name with no data type. So here we have circle constructor with one parameter and cylinder constructor with two parameters. So before the initialization happens, the constructor is called. So here we are initializing radius with the circle constructor and height with the cylinder constructor. So that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe to get more similar videos. Thank you very much.